Hi everyone, welcome back to Clues by Sam. It is Friday and we have a hard one today. Let's see how this goes. I'm a bit sad today because today was supposed to be the launch day of Vextorio, a puzzle platformer game that I was really hoping to play, but they had to postpone the launch. And they say it's just gonna be a few days, so I hope they get it sorted and we can play on the channel in a few days. But for today, we're just gonna be doing Clues by Sam. If you don't know what Clues by Sam is, it is a daily puzzle game where you have 20 people on a board. Some of them are innocent, some of them are criminal, and you gotta use the clues that each of these people give you to do no guessing but figure out who is what. Let's start then. Well, we start with Pam telling us that Betty is one of two criminals above her. So we have Betty here, and she's a criminal, but we know there's another criminal among Floyd and Kyle, and the other one is an innocent. Now Betty's telling us that all innocents in column B are connected. So that tells us that Kyle is the innocent, because if Floyd were to be an innocent, Kyle would have to be a criminal, and we would have an innocent that is not connected to the other. So Kyle has to be an innocent and Floyd a criminal. And I'm gonna leave Betty's clue here because Wanda may be an innocent too. But we don't need Pam's clue anymore, and Floyd now is telling us that Hank is one of three criminals in column D. So we know that Hank is a criminal, and there's another two that we need to find in column D. And Kyle is telling us there's an odd number of innocents above Zoe. Zoe is also in column D. She's the last one in column D. And there's an odd number of innocents above her. So since we know that there's three criminals in column D, that means that since there's 5 people in total in the column, there's 2 innocents. The only way for there should be an odd number of innocents above Zoe is for her to be 1 innocent, totaling the 2 that the column has. So Zoe is an innocent, and we don't need Kyle's clue anymore. But Zoe is telling us that an odd number of innocents in column C, neighbor Pam. Column C doesn't have anyone set yet, but an odd number of innocents in column C, neighbor Pam. Oh, we forgot about Hank's clue. Hank's telling us that only one of the 2 innocents neighboring Nick is Pam's neighbor. Okay, so we have Nick here. He has 5 neighbors total, and 2 of them are innocent. We know about one of them being a criminal, which is Hank. But we know that one of the 2 innocents neighboring him is also Pam's neighbor. And the neighbors that Pam and Nick share are Mary and Ronald. So we know that one of them is a criminal and the other one an innocent. But we also know that Nick has 2 innocents total. So either Tyler or Gabe is an innocent and the other one a criminal. Now back to Zoe's clue. An odd number of innocents in column C, neighbor Pam. Both Mary and Ronald are in column C, but Pam has another neighbor in column C, which is Zaya. But if Zaya were to be an innocent, then Pam will have 2 innocent neighbors in column C, and that's not an odd number, so Zaya has to be a criminal. And we don't need Zoe's clue anymore, but Zaya is telling us that all criminals above Zoe are connected. Okay, so since we know that column D has 3 criminals total, and Hank is one of them, either both Donna and Nick are criminals. because all of them are connected, or Nick and Tyler are all criminals because they are also connected. So the only way, in both situations, Nick is a criminal. So we know about him. Now Nick's telling us that Alice and I have an equal number of criminal neighbors. And we know the total of Nick's criminal neighbors, which is 3, because he has 5 neighbors total, and 2 of them are innocent. So 3 of them have to be criminal. And the only way for Alice to have 3 criminal neighbors, since she has 3 neighbors total, is for Emily to also be a criminal. And we don't need Nick's clue anymore, but Emily is telling us there are more innocents in column C than column D. We know that column D has 2 innocents, right? And 3 criminals. So, innocents. There are more innocents in column C than column D. Column C has to have at least 3 innocents, because column D has 2, and 3 is more than that. We know there's 1 here already. One here. The only way for column C to have 3 innocents is by having both Gabe and Carl be innocents. So we know that Gabe is an innocent and Carl is also an innocent, but since Gabe is an innocent, Tyler is a criminal. Okay, nice. And we don't need this clue anymore. Now Carl's telling us there are more criminal than innocent sleuths. How many sleuths are there? There's Alice and Isaac, and also Nick. No more sleuths? Not that I see. I don't think there has ever been, since I started playing, any more than 3 people in a single profession. Random comment. So, there are more criminal than innocent sleuths. Since there's 3 total, there's at least 2 criminal sleuths. But I like to think that 3 is more than 0. So there could be all 3 sleuths being criminal as well. So we still don't know what to think about these 2. But Gabe's telling us that column C has more innocents than any other column. And that helps us with column B, because column C has 3 innocents total, and column B has 2 already. So Wanda cannot be an innocent, or else both columns will have the same number. And the same number is not more than the other. So Wanda is a criminal. Good. Now Wanda is telling us that Emily has more innocent neighbors than Vance. Where's Emily? Oh, we also found all criminals in column D, so we know that Donna is an innocent. And we don't need Zaya's clue anymore. But now Donna is telling us there's an odd number of criminals neighboring Floyd. Okay, so let's think about this. And we don't need Betty's clue anymore, because it talks about column B. Floyd's telling us that Hank's one of 3 criminals in column D. We don't need this anymore. So there's an odd number of criminals neighboring Floyd. There's already 2 criminals here. Let's put that together with Wanda's clue. Emily has more innocent neighbors than Vance. We know already that Vance has 1 innocent neighbor, whereas Emily has 1 1, 2. So both Emily and Vince currently have the same number of innocent neighbors. But Emily has to have more than him. So it can't be that both Alice and Isaac are innocents, because that will make the sleuths be innocent in more number than criminals. So we have to have at least, and that in having both of them be innocent could make it so that Vince could have 2 innocent neighbors. But since both of them have the same number of innocent neighbors, Emily has to have 1 more innocent neighbor. So either Isaac or Alice is an innocent and the other one is a criminal. That makes Floyd have 1, 2, 3 criminal neighbors. And Floyd has to have an odd number of criminal neighbors. If Mary were to be criminal too, we would have an even number, which would be 4. So Mary has to be an innocent criminal neighbors, right? Mary's an innocent. Nice. And because Mary's an innocent, we know that Ronald is a criminal. But we also know that Olivia is a criminal as well, because we proved that both Alice and Isaac can't be innocents, both of them. So Olivia is a criminal. Good? Nice. Now column C has more innocents than any other column. We don't need this clue anymore. There are more criminals than innocent sleuths. Non-number of criminals neighboring Floyd. Don't need this clue anymore. Nick's neighbors. There's a number of criminals on the edges. Okay, there's an odd number of criminals on the edges. How many criminals do we have already? 1, 2. There's another one here, so 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. That's an odd number. And Vince is the only one missing, so Vince can't be a criminal. Is it criminals? Criminals. So Vince is an innocent. And Vince is telling us there are more innocents in row 1 than any other row. Rows, not columns. So rows 1 and 3 have the same number of innocents already. So row 1 has to have 1 more innocent than the other. And we are done. Well, that's a hard one in less than 13 minutes. Really nice for Friday night. That will be it for today. I will be back tomorrow with more clues by Sam, but also I hope the Vextorio gets launched. If not tomorrow, maybe Sunday? And then we'll try to play that on the channel. Yeah. If you play the puzzle, let me know your results. You can post them in the comments or maybe skit that to me on Blue Sky. The links are in the description. And yeah, thank you so much for watching.